Okay, good morning everyone. Now, so now if we go out now, not now, after, whenever you get time outside, and then each and every sentient being you could meet. The one simple question that do you like suffering? There could be thousands and thousands different brains, way of the brain and way of their behavior, and how their consciousness works. They might say little different, but the point will come to they really don't want slightly want suffering. That's for sure. That we don't need a logic, reason. That is your own experience. So now, in order to overcome the suffering, there are so many things that each and every individual, they are doing their own, in their own style. Yet, surprisingly, we never come across that, as we've been talking since now, 4 or 5 days ago, that nobody complains. All this suffering is there because there are some causes and conditions. But then what are the one main cause of this all suffering? It takes such encouragement, it takes so much merit to say, it takes so much kind of quite a deep understanding to say. You all know the answer now. Rebirth. We are born. So now, once we have that kind of suffering, and then now we need to go to the second kind of into the method. So because now we kind of know that to appreciate the cost of the water, it's not the doctor says it's very good. It is that you, through your own experience, you feel now I don't want to torment it by thirst. I learned it. I don't want to torment it by the thirst. Now, once you hold to this kind of position, the good news for you, now how many out there in this world, people will try to sell you many teachings, many types of teachings. Now you will know what is suitable teaching for you or not. So the most important what really you can ask is, for temporarily these teachings are very good, but my real goal to listen to teaching is not this one. So I want to listen to teaching, how much it takes the energy to listen, how much effort I have to put in there, then I wanted to listen to that teaching, which can really bring a cessation to the rebirth of all the suffering, which is our rebirth. Along that path now, we have no other option than now looking into the cause of the suffering. So then you will really go down to the business of the what is karma? Is this real thing? How does that work? And then what are the afflictions? How does really attachment really not destroys our life, but it really destroys very beautifully our life. Like sometimes we have a saying, it is like our mind is like a paper, white paper, and then one drop of oil. You think it's one drop of oil, but how slowly it destroys, ruins these people, that we really don't know. So like this. So now, once you have quite a resistance towards to all the suffering, then automatically it comes together that attachment brings huge, the pile of some collections together, which is so unnecessary and brings lots of suffering. In that kind of a level, also, we are not still yet talking about the pervasive suffering, how to deal with it. You still are thinking that even before, when what is to seize the rebirth, it is not only Buddhist business. In Hindus, they do that. Who believes in a reincarnation, past and future life, they do that. Then many schools, they really wanted to, because if you look into like not this is a temple, so I cannot use this. This is a holy object. And in my room, how many things I have collected. I didn't collect it in one day. But just then, through attachment, how many things I have make a contribution to Amazon. So it's with thinking that I necessarily need it. It brings so much pleasure. Which I have with this attachment, how it has collected so much. Once you, in America or in the West, they have a garage sale. Once you do garage sale, you will be surprised. Other people will not surprise, but you will surprise, oh my goodness, I have collected so much garbage. So, this is similarly how the attachment has collected the aggregates. So now, in order to bring down the attachment, and not now you wanted to hold to the affliction, so then automatically the teaching on the three vessels, three vessels is there. It is common. It's common to the Buddhist and non-Buddhist. So now when we talk about, first, everybody have experience. If you stay very close to that it brings attachment and anger, you wanted to stay away from that. Then it looks like how the ethical contact is designed to be that. Staying away from the family, not having a relation, and not eating food not going to the 5-star hotel. If monks go to 5-star hotel, then the other people will just like, wow, rich monk. So it's a bad kind of reputation. So why? All this is supposed to, because all this luxury, all this, we try to abandon that because it becomes very easy, because you are annoyed by the so much grasping, so much attachment, near to the suffering. You feel that this is why you stay away from that. Then you start doing it again, then that's how people get shocked. That's how it is. So now then, just staying away from the object of the attachment and the suffering is not enough. Even you stay in the your own the cave, which does not have enough water or food, and you don't have enough things to wear in the Himalayas. Maybe you're meditating somewhere there in the air, but not necessarily that you say goodbye to your negative emotions. You will be distracted. You will miss those old days, how much you had fun, barbecue, going to this seashore. All this, what you have in the past, it will come in beautiful image in your time of the meditation. Distraction will be there. So then we talk about concentration. Why? This distraction, strong attachment really takes away your peace. For that, now then we talk about concentration, and then the and more your concentration level becomes very strongly. You are enjoying every state of the mind where it's in present, and where you stay focused and you stay very committed. And then the problem is, once the concentration levels time to time goes away, and then everything comes back again. So now you come to the point where they say, like, now I wanted to find the root and to bring down that forever. So then wisdom comes in, the third vessel. So through these three vessels, and then where also in the Hindu tradition, they talk about moksha. So in this vipassana, they have tried to bring the idea of moksha there. So in Buddhism, now that moksha is not given by somebody. It is something to recognize the mistaken mind, which is the self-grasping. You see this huge contradiction, the mind which you grasp to the self, which that self is not as it is that when you cling towards that self. You feel like there's truly, solitarily, that not dependently it is there. That means solid. So then if through the logic and the reason and the guidance of your master, teacher, and your effort, this is why all these teachings where we are studying, why we are going through this next, for that reason. So once you have the strong understanding that the emptiness is the 다도 준비 등진기 신유매와 하고니 당매디 되던 진당 모습 집 로이와 하고니 되던 진당 모습 집 로테 and look, young Tabaji, but the Galan, same Tempuji Shamatuna, Katu in the look tribages and Drayada, look to the D Jesu, and let the human gay Yava, let the human Geson, D Jesu, Lessa, Vishu, Dominion, Gugu Yavadi, that repeat that purpose.
So this self, can you hear me? It's okay. This self-grasping ignorance is a wrong consciousness. It holds this object, the object that is clinged to by this self-grasping ignorance, the wisdom realizing selflessness realizes that object that self-grasping ignorance clings to doesn't exist. So let me say that again. So the self-grasping ignorance holds the way that it holds the self to exist, the way that it clings to the self. The wisdom realizing selflessness sees that object, that the self that self-grasping clings to doesn't exist. Okay, so the wisdom realizing selflessness and the self-grasping ignorance have a completely contradictory mode of apprehension, a completely opposite way of holding. And so when you recognize that the object of self-grasping ignorance doesn't exist, and that the wisdom realizing selflessness is the direct antidote, directly contradicts or realizes that doesn't exist, the object it's clinging to, then you need to familiarize with that. You need to make a stable understanding of that the object self-grasping grasp that doesn't exist, and the wisdom realizing selflessness directly contradicts that, and that wisdom realizing selflessness is a mind which is in line with reality. A mind which is in line with reality. And then you need to make that familiarization very stable, because you need to understand that, and you also need to understand that the way that self-grasping ignorance, the self that it grasps at, doesn't exist, and that so long as there is this self-grasping ignorance, which is a wrong consciousness, from that then there will arise all the afflictions, and then from that there will arise all the karma, all our action that's motivated by those afflictions, and then from that then necessarily suffering is going to come. You have to develop some certainty that is this process that is just following on from self-grasping ignorance.
So right now, even though it sounds very complicated, but most important, why it sounds so complicated, is we don't have quite a strong understanding of the suffering. So once you have that a wish that you don't want to be tormented by this suffering, and then automatically when you start looking for not the antidote again, you're just going like, where is this coming from? So once you feel like this comes from the karma and the afflictions, then you will go through some kind of research with these two, how much you try to compete or to take it down. It's a bit tiring. Because it's more like, in Tibetan, they have a saying, I really don't know these words or not. In Tibet, they have a saying like, don't do some stupid behavior that when the bear tried to catch its fish or something. So in Tibet, they don't have like they try to joke or maybe to tell the story to their children, saying how they catch their prey is they will take the one prey like a fish, or not a fish or some other like a tiny prey, and it will put under his butt, and then he will wait for that to come out. The chippy, beaver, beaver, and he holds, and then waits, and then he holds, and then he will lift up his butt again, and he will try to put another prayer. He's thinking that I have now several things to eat. But at the end, he has only one thing to eat, because everyone leaves when he lifts up his butt. Similarly, the way the Buddha, when he was doing a fasting with his, classmates, I really don't know, his friends, when he took this samaya to stay fasting in order to if you bring more suffering to your own body, and then you will feel, now you feel the purifying, because you can see this body is thrown, this body is thrown to you by the effluxions. So you feel like if you torture that, then you feel like now you start purifying this. This technique Buddha was doing, aesthetic practices. He was doing that. So while he's doing that, he sees some advantage and disadvantage and so on, and then he gave up, and then he started eating food. This is why the five of his friends said, like, now we don't stay with the students and friends who have broken the samaya. It's a very bad impact on us. So they left him. And the Buddha's solid reason is, how much I do these sort of practices, but still I can feel after a few months later, days later, still this is coming very strongly. For a few months it stays quite calm and everything, and then of course the negative emotions are rising. So it's a bit tiring, this kind of practice. So he says, I don't want to die doing this practice, which I never can conquer my grasping at all. So then he start eating and looking for another way of teachings, until he got like, now the source of all the suffering is not other than self-grasping. It's truly mistaken mind that he came to realize that. So then he stopped eating, and for 6 months, 6 years under the tree, he did his meditation very strongly. So that was one big teaching to us. So now through this inspiration to us, from young, when I was young, I thought like, should get a full enlightenment with bodhicitta, emptiness, so great. But now these days, my belief, belief is there, faith is there, but the most important is, why rush to the antidote unless I don't have this? This is where now it's talking about. All this book, many pages about this, is to bring down your urgency practices, and to share some kind of secret with you guys. Many of the practitioners out there, maybe now I'm not criticizing. I have a huge respect of people who are there doing lots and lots of efforts, many retreats. But sometimes when I come across this kind of teachings, then I thought like, they are doing lots of retreats, but do they have this kind of are they tormented by the suffering or not? If they are not really tormented by the suffering, which is the pervasive suffering, which is like the whole problem started because I'm born. If she does not have that, and then staying as a retreat for maybe the rest of his and her life in the retreat, what they are really building up in there. So that becomes a bit of my curiosity. Now see how bad practitioner I am. Criticizing other practitioners. But respect, because I have a great support and source from the Buddha himself. That's why I'm being a little bit boasting, right? Boasting. Yeah. So now, in order to search for all these entities, it will come up at the end of this, the middle scope. It will share, the Lama Tsongkhapa will share the antidote. But before that, we need to have such a great understanding about nature of suffering. Where is the suffering? How long we are with the suffering? And how long are we with the origin of the suffering? What is that seed of the suffering that we are always carrying with us? So these are the things that we need to really give a quite a serious thought. And this is where Lama Tsongkhapa shares his kind of first teaching us to tell, like, this is where you need to meditate. Yesterday we went through that. He says, now this is where you need to meditate so strongly. So now if you look at the left, where we left off yesterday, 딱 그거다 그래서 홍보 용수냐고 뒤에 유의 용수냐고 서동으로 소거되지 체 용수냐고 근데 나봐도 주기 있어요 봐. 체 용수냐 눈이니서 체 페이지를 세베에서 묘도 치와로 초과돼서 태남 양도 sembo was dilab dibure diyo maba didoe maba dorbe. Okay.
So yesterday we went to the fifth suffering, the deterioration of life is painful. As your life nears exhaustion, you head rapidly toward death.
So yesterday we covered up now the suffering of the aging. So now we do meditation, suffering of sickness. Da now we do nisambala yanga. Da lugi rang shingi juwa. Lugi rang shingi juwa nis. Da lugi ani sheshu papa kamba sosos. That did nibad much watching this way. 드네 동해다 이 미디어 패싱 텔라 시시를 내바니서 류기 출로서 감반나 참미념을 시제로 추투고로서 류 동아 계진 대sem라서 미디어 기베서 년천다 보고 다 디지 정도도.
Looking at the suffering of sickness, so the suffering of illness here, there are also 5 points to contemplate. The first, illness changes the nature of the body. The flesh wastes away, the skin dries out, and so forth. And then the second, pain and anguish increase and are seldom absent. The elements of the body, water, earth, air and fire, are not in equilibrium and fluctuate chaotically, causing physical torment, which in turn produces mental anguish. You spend day and night in this state.
So where we are focusing in this section, where we are focusing is, it is not a suffering only when we see the skin is drying up, right? The skin is drying out, and then all this problem in the hospital when you are in urgency care. Now when you feel also we can say strong diarrhea problem. Only this is good enough. So at that time we will the skin reaction and the body reaction, it's not a problem. The problem is how we hold to that. That's a big deal. It's not like you are looking at somebody is getting sick. Somebody getting sick, it's like you are doing some research. But you are really holding to your own, even a small kind of a thing comes on your finger, then a whole time then you will freak out. So you hold to it very strongly. And that comes with when the sickness has started, you hold so strongly. So that's why in the hospital, when people go to the hospital, when all the kind of treatment is going on, and once it's done, what does doctor tell you? Take a good rest now. But they never teach you what is a good rest. The good rest is not just sleeping. The sleeping issues are there. How do you sleep very well if you have going through such emergency cases going on? So they don't teach you how to. So it's more like if you have this technique, saying when you have this kind of problem, it's like, of course, this is the body which is built up of all this complex of all the earth element, fire element, all this. Once it does not go together, it's like a global warming. Once something starts, then there's nothing much to do actually. So this is happening to me. So you are looking to the nature of a body, not you according to my body. It's like just trying to understand what is the nature of this reality. Then just going through this, it kind of will give you the state of mind going in a peace. So the doctors don't teach you that. That's why mindfulness and some kind of a teaching on meditation becomes a number one business in the world. Because they try to deliver you this kind of message. So, so it's a very powerful way, but right now we are not talking about antidote. We are seeing once we have that kind of a problem, then with this problem, that how we hold to this kind of suffering, which is the sickness, then it shows you some kind of unpleasant feelings are there. Yibachi, ta sumba dine yu ki longjo yidu wangwe midobanis, yidu wangwe yu nalas, nela ne sene de shendu jiwang mebate, te shendu jelam yang kande nala charameba. Well, that's a very painful one. So this one, third one is very, which is the third one? The raw taji. There's no desire for attractive things.
There's no desire for attractive things, as you are told that desirable things harm those who are sick. You cannot indulge in them freely, and do not have the range of movement and postures that you would wish.
So it's very painful if you really like to do something, like to eat ice cream. You really need ice cream every day to fulfill your satisfaction. Then doctor says for 1 month you cannot eat ice cream. And there you can hear these ice cream people screaming towards you, like in a gym. When you go for gym and some gym that is close to the Burger King or KFC, so it's not a good idea, very bad motivation, because it's right away all the exercise you are wasted. So for that reason, when it is painful, so normally whatever you wanted to desire, you want to do it, but now you cannot do it. At that time, it is very painful. It's not like I can do it tomorrow, but you cannot do it for the rest of your life. And then if you cannot make quite a decisive decision, there, then it is so painful. This is what also in the time of the sickness, all this comes with that. And so that fourth one, the fourth one is the you must have a recourse way. Recourse, however unwillingly, to unpleasant objects. So all these people who do chemotherapy, operations, and then all the untasty these medicines, whatever you have to do this, even if you don't like it, you have to do it. That also is a part of comes with the sickness. 사동서 이거면 외신 대신도 매세 봐도 천지 보고라서 제 대도 지금 좁은 땡 보고. So this, but it's very funny, because if you are sick, it's debatable. Maybe some of people you are thinking, if you are sick and then you go to hospital and taking all the treatment is necessary. So why we should complain about it? But the most important is each and every time, whenever you are in the hospital or you are sick, then you will feel like I need to do this again. All this painful thing. So like now a few days later I'm going to Italy, so I need to do this all stupid work of the visa thing. Takes a huge time to apply for this and going to the those. So all these unnecessary things, you think now I have to do it. But I say I really wanted to go to Italy. But all this unnecessary, it comes with it. Then there is some kind of like, I have to do that. So when you make money, same thing, right? You have that, it comes with it. So it's saying just thinking of sickness is not just okay, but what comes with the sickness, all this. So then sometimes you would tell your kids or your friends, don't eat too much sweet, otherwise you have to go to dentist. But then it really frightens the kid. So you may say you don't eat a lot of sugar once, now you are in 30s because you will become a diabetic way. But it really frightens. So similarly, once you get sick, you will get this. So then it's more like when you see what comes with that feeling, uncomfortable, unnecessary feelings that you need to go through that, and then you try to think, I don't want the sickness. This is the how it's retentive way. So that so 공부 다 채워주거니. 어디시? 내 미소가 통해 눈이 띄어버렸어. tell a ship symbol also. So did this thing a change.
So just finishing reading on the previous one too. You must have recourse, however unwillingly, to unpleasant objects. The sick are forced to take unpalatable medicine, food and drink and the like, and have to rely on harsh therapies that involve such things as being burned with fire or being penetrated with instruments. And so then we move on to number 5, which this is a really important point. You lose your vital energy. It is painful to realize that your illness is terminal.
Ale soku ongbu sedi tamadan tsugi namshi gyun tun dosan rodewi na anga shime seyachi. Ta namshi ma du yongi zamdewa laya ani soku ongbu sedi jambe namshi da chöyi tensagi shidi ta ko tembu meba chabu jambe ani soku ongbu du yongbe ka laya 신의 나수 추부 디슈 추부 여드긴 데야 칼리 아니 당 아주 무슨 류 두어 추부 쉬부지기다 레 장도와 레고도 신의 미디다 아주 무슨 가서 동바 페이스에 두어 좀 그렇지 맹강하로라 미가신 내가 자라 나도 가버냐 아니 아주 롭소자가 되게 가고도 봐 랍지자가 되게 advice 자와도네 가르자고 삼삼도지 리도와 다 미디 시도지 보봐 제가 미디 랍제자가도 미디 수고 나서 춘주디는 나데는 다 랍제 줘봐 다 소고 공공 가로 지금 랍제 가고도 봐 어디는 신신 다 안절로다 비기도 가요 고랑 시루니도 가요 카보 예 difficult 봐 어디지 갔다.
So when we're talking about your vital energy, we usually say life force. Then when we talk about the continuity of consciousness, that doesn't come to an end. But if we look at the basis for our life force, there's the primary consciousness and this heat, warmth, right? And so then when a serious illness comes, then the heat declines and the life force becomes like under threat. Yeah, our life force is weakening, and then it's difficult for someone to give advice to someone at that time, right? When their life force is really declining. So if there's a smaller or a lighter illness, then it's easier to give advice of how to help, right? But at the time when the life force is really declining and it's like irreversible, when it's coming terminal, then it's really difficult to give advice to that person at that time, isn't it? And it's really difficult for anything to be done to regenerate that life force when it's coming to the end like that.
Yeah. So one time in Canada, I went to give advice to one lady who was passing away, and she requested to me to come. I never have met her in my life, but she came. There is one Tibetan Lama somewhere roaming around her near place. So she requested me to come, and then I visited the hospice. This is my first time in the hospice. And then I went in, and she is plugged with all these the wires and so many things. And she has a scarf in her hand. And then I thought, like, maybe now she knows Tibetan custom, maybe she knows Dharma a bit. I'm not sure. Then because I'm not that skillful, so I started giving some sort of like unnecessary kind of teachings. And then she listened with this huge respect. Then I said, do you have anything to share with me, or you want to say something to me? And then she said, almost now 40 years I've been practicing Dharma. There is no single fear the last minute even I'm going to die, there won't be a fear at all. That is my certainty. Because I was talking about you shouldn't get fear, all these things, so that was the response, I'm not a good listener. So then she said, well, up to now 40 years I've been practicing, and I've been practicing how to, all the dissolutions when the death comes. So I've been practicing a lot. Now, I really wanted to do this. It's like my final examination. I'm well prepared. I really want to do this. But because I have a huge tumor, many tumors in my brain, so once the tumor grows, then it is so painful. So then I request my doctor don't give me any kind of painkillers or something, drugs. But this needs to be done. So my biggest fear is now, once they give me this drug, and if I passes away, and I don't get time to practice while I'm passing away, then it will be so shameful. I've wasted life of my, the rest of life I have been practicing, so it will be kept all day wasted. So what is your response on that? That was like, I didn't expect that in Canada. I didn't expect that from the beginning. And that was the first thing that one person saying this directly to me. So what to say now? So I just give a thought, and then I say, now it looks like you had the experience of all the 40 years, and it looks like you haven't wasted all these 40 years. And now I'm 100% sure by the time the death comes, when you conscious, conscious way, unconscious way, unconscious, conscious way. The conscious doesn't matter, because your will to challenge the death and to practice all the dissolution is very well prepared. So now it is similar like when we are well prepared to go to one place tomorrow, and then you are so excited to go there tomorrow at 5 o'clock, then you set an alarm at 5 o'clock. But sometimes we wake up before the alarm goes on. So that's the power of our mind. So keep this in your mind, and then you shouldn't think like what will happen. This is taking away your confidence. So stay strict with whatever in the subtlest consciousness level, you will be more powerful than ever. So and then whatever some practice normally you are doing, before you are taking to emergency care, or somebody gives you this drug, so do whatever that necessarily what you do that. So there won't be a problem. That's what I just told her, and she really wanted to listen to that. It was like, I said something. Very powerful. So, but now in different cases, this is business between the one great practitioner passing away. In some places, then they are not prepared. They don't want to die, and they have lots of tears rolling out, and they sometimes cry so badly. And that time, it's very difficult to tell not to cry. Why are you crying? It sounds so stupid. So it's at that time now, that person can see, even if it's a very short time, at that short time. Now normally when you are quite sick and then you feel like 90% I will not die. So then you will not make any kind of will or give a last piece of advice to other people. Like it's too early. So once at the 90% is this one now. At the time when your body's reaction, all this, it looks like now your body is giving up on you. At that moment, now this is because there is no second chance. No second chance. Once you feel this, so that's the period of the time where it's saying you hold to that very strongly. At that time, it will be such a stupid thinking like, I will survive. I need to survive. Why has this had to happen to me? It's too late. There's no room for this now. So now this, if you go through this kind of process, so then many of who he or she is our kind of idol, the celebrities, they are going through that kind of period of time, which we don't see that part. So this also you need to include in your practice. If you really want to feel the suffering, know the suffering quite well, we shouldn't skip and hide that. This is why some lamas in the early time, now all the Westerners are much stronger. In the early part, where in the West, it's time of the hippies, where the lamas went there and give some teachings. So some lamas normally they practice like this, and they will open the book and they talk about all the sufferings, not only that the suffering of the hell and so on. So many students complain because they really suffered a lot and they wanted to now full-time enjoy. And there comes one lama to ruin your day. So they don't appreciate that. But here, today, this course, because our course is, what is the name of our course? Goodness. How to practice in a daily life and a guide to infinite happiness. So that comes with it. It comes with it. So you cannot complain me on that. If you say only to practice happy life, then this won't be here. So this is required. So this is something important to time. Just not seeing other suffering is not enough. Suffering of others. Once you are in a hospital, so you start helping them. And then, if you put yourself in this emergency bed, then it's a very different thing. It's so easy. Sometimes you are expert, whatever, like in the Bali, I decide to wear the local people's dress. I said, like, I wanted to be changed in this. I don't want to wear this yellow thing and then the normal clothes. I wanted to wear the local people's dress. And then, surprisingly, my guide, my friend, she does not know how to put that on, and we bought that. And then huge Hindu temple called Vesaki temple, oldest temple in the Bali. So when I went there, at the parking lot, there are a few people who dress up so well, local dress. So I went to them and folded hand and I said, "Can you help me to dress me?" So they just liked it there, and there are 4 people helping me. All people failed because they are good with preparing themselves, but they never done that to others. So they say, no, not this way. They just, all the 4 people took almost like 15 to 20 minutes to finally they figured it out. So similarly, if you forget to put yourself into the practice, and how much you have a saying like seeing the suffering of others and compassion, so on, sometimes when it comes on you, so you don't have an answer for that. So before going into this kind of state, this kind of difficulty, it's better to think early than just ignoring it completely. So here we are not just to think about suffering and then like what to do, but there is far much better to dig out. So that's why we are going to dig out all the suffering. Then after that you are like, I don't want to be tormented by this suffering anymore. Then it pushes you to where to find the antidote. So normally we find antidote. To be honest, we had His Holiness the Dalai Lama. For my case, I have His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Up to now I'm in my 40s. I've been receiving from it, maybe from the 6 years old up to now. I've been listening to His Holiness Dalai Lama teaching. He has shared all his practices with us. But just listen. If I can explain you, this is how His Holiness says that. Then to be honest, if you start stalking me, then you will find quite surprised I'm not doing as what His Holiness really asked me to do. Why? Because I never felt like I'm tormented by the sufferings. I felt like, I don't like the suffering, but whoa, this is very good. I really start enjoying that. Where I feel not the necessary of these antidotes. The antidotes, it's like I locked in somewhere, like one day I'm going to use it. Then we really don't know when is that day. So that's why it is such a necessary more. This is break time. So, so this is very important. All this, if you really wanted to appreciate and value or the preciousness of the antidotes, what is in the letter, in the rest of the book, it is going to share that you really wanted to bring this kind of taste, flavor, then we shouldn't skip that much. How much you skip this part, once you go this like teaching, you will say, wow, amazing teaching. Amazing. I'm so lucky to receive this teaching. But then, a few days later, if somebody asks you, are you doing as what it's told? Like, to be honest, you will feel like, no, I don't have the time to practice. Why? And if somebody tells you, are you not tormented by this suffering? Not really. That will come out. So that's why. Okay, let's take a break now.